actually have small work groups on different areas of the game and engine, or do they work on all the stuff they like?
We try to, we do split them up into areas. We try to not ever have just one person that knows everything about something and no one else, because if he gets hit by a bus or just leaves the country for 5 weeks on vacation or something, then nothing's going to happen there. But yeah, generally programmers do specialize and they do take on certain systems. Yep.
When will be the next big expansion and what will it be about?
Well, the Empyrean Age has just recently launched. It was just over a month ago. So there's going to be around something like 5 months to our next expansion. We're going to do it during the winter. We usually try to do it somewhere around the holidays. I can't really say right now what it's going to be about, but it's going to be something people aren't really expecting. It's going to be something different from our usual expansions. Yeah, there we go.
Ambulation. On the next expansion.
I gotta say, I expected this question earlier. Ambulation is, obviously it's in process. We're doing a lot of good work on it. It is on schedule. We have an internal schedule, but we're not publishing it. We're not giving it out just yet. So we're collecting a lot of information. We're seeing where we're going to go with it, and we're going to announce pretty much all of that during FanFest. So I beg you to have patience until FanFest. Up there again?
About the daily downtime.
Yes?
I don't know what kind of server you are running on, but is the daily downtime always needed every single day, or is it just daily out of habit, kind of, like if we happen to need it today?
The daily downtime is not necessary from a technical standpoint, but there's a lot of things that we do during the downtime. There's a lot of tasks we run, especially during the downtime or when the server comes up, that for gameplay, that needs to happen daily. So while we usually don't do very much during the downtime, for these tasks to run, you have to take the server down and put it up again. It is a dream of ours to eliminate the downtime, but we're not going to be able to do that very soon. And in relation to what I said in the presentation, that the show must go on at all times, obviously we're kind of breaking that rule by having the daily downtime, but the servers are down for maybe 20 to 40 minutes every day at exactly the same time, and if people know when it's going to be, they know it's going to be down at this time, that they're not going to be able to play at this time, then that's what we find is an acceptable way to break the rule. It's expected, it's anticipated, everyone knows it's going to be there. Any more questions? We have a lot of time, so.
I guess the downtime is also for balancing the systems.
Balancing systems?
I mean,
you mean auto balancer? Yes,
yeah.
we take the solar systems and we distribute them on the server nodes. So we're load balancing the server based on what the load has been like in the last run. Is there anyone that has been raising his hand that I haven't seen yet? I know that happened yesterday, so I'd like to make sure it's not happening again. No? Okay. Up there then?
Gosh, Online, nowadays you have, what was it, 64 different areas and govern like more than 50,000 different solar systems.
You mean like server areas?
No, I mean
regions?
Regions, yeah.
Okay.
Two questions about it. First of all, how many solar systems were there in the first launch? And secondly, has every solar system been designed specifically by a certain group, or are there like some zero solar systems that are have been generated partly by randomization?
I'm not really quite sure on the first thing as to how many systems there were in that launch. If I'm not mistaken, there were 5,400, which was pretty much what we went with until we opened the drone regions. But I'm not going to swear for it. as to the second thing, whether we actually designed every system or whether some of them were generated, most of them were actually generated. One of the early CCPers has a PhD in chaos theory, and he actually found a very nice algorithm for crystal growth that we used to procedurally generate how the systems interact, how you can get from one system to another. And then we used him and his superior brain to come up with good ways of auto-generating systems. And this also applies to much of the names, not all of the names, but much of them. Okay, it's about to be the last chance for questions.
Are you going to add more regions anytime soon?
Are we going to add more regions? We did add one region in the last expansion. That was pretty much out of necessity. We wanted to add factional warfare, and there was no good area for that in the location where we needed it, so we just decided to create a new one. We don't have any plans right now to create more regions, basically because we don't need them at the moment. I know there is a need for exploring and for taking on new unconquered territories, but if we just throw in a bunch of regions now without there being any bigger reason than that for it, it's just going to become a known and conquered territory in 2 or 3 weeks. And then we're going to have to do more and more and more, so we don't want to go down that slippery slope. Okay, last question? Last question up there again.
Kind of a personal question. I can't remember when it was, but this one kind of Assassin's Guild title.
Assassin's Guild?
I don't remember the
Okay.
story, but some player organization went into another organization. They had players there for about a year.
Oh, you're talking about the Guiding Hand Social Club?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. What kind of standing do you take on the matter? Do you approve of it, what they did on the...
In a short way, yes, because they did not break any rules. We have rules of conduct, we have an end-user license agreement that stipulates how you can play with other players, and they did not break any of our rules in knocking off the corporation. The story is basically that this company, the Guiding Hand Social Club, they were hired to destroy another company. And what they did is that they put sleeper agents inside the company. They had people which were working their way up the ladder there for about a year before they did anything. And one of their members was actually number 2 in the company at the time they struck. No? And then suddenly, at a time they had prepared in advance, they just decided, okay, we're going to do it now. And they had people spread all over the company in all of its offices, in all their locations. They emptied the hangars, they took everything the company had, they emptied it of money, and they killed a really big, really expensive ship the CEO had. And so they totally destroyed the company with one swift move after taking a year of preparing it. And it's just so impressive. I don't see how we couldn't like it. There's a lot of work involved, and they're not doing anything which is against the rules. Well, I'm getting the end sign here, so this is the last question for today. We do have the brochures. I don't know if we're going to have time to distribute them here, but if not, then outside the lecture hall afterwards. So enjoy the rest of the conference.